We're live, Bobby.
Yeah, sure, sir.
So,
Okay. Hel- Hello and welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Coffee with Kalliope Season 4, hosted by the official anchoring society of KIT University, Kalliope.
Marking this episode as the fifth episode of season 4. This is a show where we brew interesting conversations with some of the most influencing voices of our country. So, pour yourself a cup, sit back, and let's embark on our journey.
I am Samprit Sarkar.
And I am Manishna Chaudhary, and we are your hosts for tonight. We can vouch that tonight's episode is gonna be an unforgettable one. The lights are bright, the crowd's alive. The stage is set, the legends rise. One voice cuts through the deafening sound, pumping up the fans, shaking the ground. Through every cheer, through every chant, the voice rises, bold and grand. He is the hype, he is the spark, lifting spirits, igniting hearts.
He is the fire, he is the road, the one who makes you want it more. From the first whistle to the final play, RJ Sammy leads the way. So stand up, shout out, feel the heat. This is where the real fans meet. The mic is on, the energy is prime. Welcome to the show, it's game time.
With that, we welcome the one and only RJ Sammy, aka Soumyajit Modak sir, on Coffee with Calliope, Season 4, Episode 5.
hi guys, what's up?
All good, sir, all good.
Yeah,
So for you
okay,
today,
before you ask or say anything, okay, I wanted to say that is one of the sweetest and most creative intros that I've had in my 15-year career. All right. Generally, people talk about all the stuff that I've done. They talk about where I've studied and this and that and blah and blah. But this one will remain with me for a very long time because it genuinely was really sweet. Very well done.
Thank you so much,
thank you so
sir.
much, sir. Means a lot to us. So for you today, we have a lot of amazing questions. But before we get into that, I'll just like to add up something. I have already told this to you before, so it's also for viewers to know. We know you are from Kolkata, you are Bengali, and so am I. So naturally, whenever I attend the matches, it's mostly in the Eden Gardens. And you have been the anchor of KKR for a long time. So there have been multiple times where I have seen you doing your job, and I know how phenomenal you are. Like आपके जो lines है ना, आज के मैच जीतने के KKR, I say muscle, you say Russell, Russell. I have been a first-hand account of all of this. So watching you live on the ground and now hosting you on this show, it just feels so very great. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation and being here.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you for having me. And I hope that over the next whatever time we spend together, this is not just a one-way communication where you get to know a little more about me and probably learn a thing or two. But I also get to learn a few things from you guys, which I feel is the way to go ahead in life. Learning is a two-way process.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. All right, sir. So getting into the questions, we know you are quite busy right now. Day after tomorrow is the first match of the IPL, KKR versus RCB, which you will be hosting. Yesterday was the Knights Unplugged event, which you had hosted, and we all have seen that how amazing it was. And we have also seen the reel posted by KKR, जहाँ पे you were making DJ Bravo saying champion. So just tell us, like, how was yesterday's night and how has been your day so far?
So yesterday was magical. It was really, really magical for anybody who supports a team to be associated with them, A, for so long, and B, also for, I think, these kind of events where, you actually get to rub shoulders with the players in a very casual setting. No one's really thinking about the game. No one's really bothered about how they have to perform the next day. So they are also in a very relaxed state of mind. They have come to have fun, and you are essentially kind of enticing them and facilitating that fun, right? So that is, I think, a great place to be in. In terms of yesterday, I think it genuinely was a very, very magical night. Everything that we did from the people who had come in to watch the event. the fans, very, very important part of my job as well. They are, I think, the backbone of anything and everything that I do. From them to the players to the management to just the overall event. I think it was just such a magical night, something that's going to stay with me for a very long time. In terms of today, so funny story is that today I woke up very late. I woke up at I think around quarter to 12, and that is because the last 2 nights I hadn't slept. So I went on a 48-hour marathon without any sleep, except for that like half an hour that I get in the plane while coming to Kolkata. But beyond that, yeah, I was dead tired, guys. I can't tell you how tired I was. By the time I came back to my room in the hotel, all I wanted to do was get into that blanket and sleep. So today was that day where I got up a little late, ordered in my breakfast into my room for brunch. By the time मैंने post 12 बजे तो यार breakfast होता नहीं है, आप brunch खाते हो. तो brunch वंच खाया and then I got out of the hotel. So yeah, my parents live in Kolkata. So I just came home, met my parents and have been spending some quality time with them. And then my good friends at KIIT said that they wanted to have a chat with me. So I was like, all right, why not? Let's do this. And we got just kind of, got ready, got into a place where I have some uninterrupted time with you guys. And here we are.
Means a lot to us, sir. We just look forward to add on to your day.
Sure, I'd love that.
So, sir, you said that you're back at home, and when you're not usually working, what does your usual day look like besides getting up like late and everything else?
No, so I am not really a habitual I don't really habitually get up late, right? I love to sleep, right? There is no two ways about that. I'll tell you honestly, I love to sleep. If somebody told me that, hey, I'm dedicating 2 days to you and all you have to do is sleep, I'd love that. That's like my ideal day, okay? A few things. One is that I love to eat, I love to sleep, and I'm very lazy when it comes to just being me. So yeah, I mean, ideally, so let's divide this into two parts, right? One is a working day and one is a non-working day. So a working day essentially looks like depends on where I need to get to. So I'll get up at a time which is basically 2 hours before my first meeting. That's always been the case. I'm very slow in the morning. Like if you ask me to get up and start doing something, I know I'm like a diesel engine. I take my time to start, boss. But once I start, then it's a rocket ship. So I take my time, get up 2 hours early. I love coffee. So I'll hydrate myself, drink like a liter of water in the morning, and then my next go-to is coffee. And if you guys ever come home, you will see that I have a proper barista machine at home. So I love to go through that process. And that kind of helps me wake up, I think, from grinding the coffee to making the puck to tamping it to putting it and also selecting which beans to take. So I am a connoisseur when it comes to coffee. And that's also a process that I follow. And then if I have to catch a flight, then I'm on my way. I'm taking meetings at that time. And if I don't have to, then during the day also, I have a lot of meetings lined up uh, related to work. And then eventually, get to the stadium, just do my prep while getting. So I am a last minute prep type of a guy. You'll never see me prepping like बहुत लोग होते हैं ना एग्जाम के एक हफ्ते पहले से पढ़ रहे हैं ये कर रहे हैं वो कर रहे हैं so that's not me, boss. I know 1 hour before the game or 1 hour before the exam, you give me the books and see how I top. Okay, that's me. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of prepare. There's a process to that as well. I kind of look at what are the things that can stand out in my head. I'm visualizing the game. I am also thinking that these are the players who will be playing. So what is their style of playing? What are the explosive things that can happen? And that's a good thing about sports anchoring is that you don't really have a script. It's like ball by ball. Anything and everything can happen. So you just need to be kind of very prepared in your head for anything to happen. And I always say this for sports anchoring, yes, you can prepare a lot, but what comes out of your mouth and in from your brain to your mouth at that time when you're experiencing that is what kind of flows to the people. So you can write down, okay, if this happens, I'm going to say this and that. But how you felt at that time, if you can really emote that well, and because everyone else is thinking the same thing, right? You're watching the same game. That I think is the connect. So yeah, I think I'm digressing, so I'll just come back. So then I kind of go to the stadium, the music starts playing, and I think I kind of get into the zone. That getting into the zone also requires you to switch off a part of you and switch on a part of you. So that I think that's what happens very organically. And then, yeah, you finish the game. And then after the game, depends on who you're doing the game with. If I'm doing it with one of my very good friends, and we'll probably head out for a drink or, go somewhere to eat. And then just come back, go to sleep, do it over. So that's my work day. That's how it looks like. On a non-work day, when those are rare to find, a non-work day that I'm actually home in my Mumbai apartment, that is a rare phenomenon. But when that happens, then you will see uh, I'd like to take it slow. I love playing FIFA on my PlayStation 5. Okay, yeah, I'll play online with other people. I'll play by myself. I'll go into manager mode, see what's happening with my team, do all of that. Those are the days that I like to also cook a little sometimes. I'm not an exceptional cook, but I think from whatever feedback I get from my friends, is that I'm decently good. So I do that. That helps me unwind a little. And I love to watch sunsets. So yeah, sometimes I just sit and watch the sunset, go to Marine Drive, sit there, watch the sunset, and that's my kind of day. But yeah, if I am in Bombay, the night is going to be more happening than the day. So I'll definitely go out for dinner, meet some friends, So that's pretty much that. I love to live life.
So such that is such a lovely day to hear about. I especially relate to the part where you said that you prepared just a few hours because we both are also engineers and none of us study 1 week before any exam. Okay, we all study one night before,
So
and
I
this
think
is
that's a
how
that's
we
a
all
very engineering
pass.
trait. If I'm being honest with you, I think that's a very engineering
Yes,
trait. Like if you're an engineer, ना तुमको पता है कि यार वो last moment करके ही अपन को निकलना है. So then you do it like that, right? So yeah,
and it also kind of becomes a habit for us that we know that yeah, ho jayega.
correct. Absolutely. निकाल तो लेंगे ही. We see that's what we are. We are engineers. We're supposed to be fixing and building things. So yeah.
So day after tomorrow, you'll be hosting the opening match of the IPL season,
Hmm.
KKR versus RCB, and you've
Hmm.
also hosted other big matches like the recent Champions Trophy, India versus Pakistan.
Right.
So after hosting so many matches throughout the years, does it feel like it is just another day in your career, or is the excitement still the level?
So I'll tell you a secret. Okay. On my Instagram, there will come a day when I will be posting a video which says that, guys, today is going to be the last time that RJ Sammy is going to be hosting a game. And from tomorrow, I will not be hosting that game, any more games. So I'm kind of retiring in my own way, right? Know that this exact line that you said about the excitement level going down or me not feeling the same level of excitement for that match, that has set in. And I've recognized that and I'm stopping. Till that day comes, every game is going to be absolutely on top. Every game, energy levels are going to be through the roof. Every game still gets me excited to go to the ground. Now, I'll tell you something. We are a population of what? 1.5 billion, if I'm not mistaken, right? Where we are in India. I don't have the exact
Yes, sir,
numbers, but
around that
yeah,
only.
give and take, right? Out of that, I am possibly one of the what? Two, three, four, maximum five people in India, right? If you have to like look at every scale, local tournaments, global tournaments, if you put all of that together, possibly 10 people, right? So I am part of that elite group, which is 10 out of 1.5 billion, right? You understand the privilege that I have. And you understand that every single day when I wake up and I remind myself of that, that pushes me every single day to say, you are on that stage, you have to perform to the best of your ability. I'll tell you, there are days when I'm not feeling well. There are days when, I'm a little tired. But the moment I'm on stage, this is what everybody says. So, for example, you saw yesterday's show, the KKR show, right? Did you feel that I had not slept for 48 hours?
No, sir. You had
Exactly my
the energy and it was on top.
exactly my point. So, you can only be on top when you actually perform like you are on top. These things will keep happening. This KKR event is a global event. Everybody is watching it. There are fans who have come, spent some hundreds of rupees, which I'm guessing that, a lot of them might not be financially so well, but they've still spent that kind of money to come and see this event, right? It is my responsibility to put a smile on their face. It is my responsibility to ensure that they never feel that यार वो ना Sammy आज थोड़ा ठंडा नहीं था, that everything else can wait. I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna take a day off, I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna do all of that. Yeah, it's gonna happen. But when you are 10 out of 1.5 billion, then that's a responsibility. And you just need to recognize that responsibility and just go out there and ensure that everybody who's paying to come watch that game of cricket go back saying कि boss जीता हारा वो तो होना ही था, वो तो whatever, that's part of the game. But मजा आया यार, that. And the day that goes, I think I'll stop. And I'm very, very honest and clear to myself about that.
Sir, we hope you
Sir,
never
good to
stop
know.
and go on entertaining us forever. Yeah.
Fingers crossed, bro.
Yeah, we have our
Okay, sir.
fingers crossed.
Taking you back to yeah,
Yeah.
take, taking you back to where it all started. Like we know you were born and brought up in Kolkata.
Mm.
So how was it like growing up there?
Oh, how was it? I it is fun. It was fun. I'll tell you, my childhood was a lot of fun. So I was our house where we stay even now. It used to be a joint family. Abhi to, people have moved out. I have moved out. So that is kind of diminished a little. But it used to be a party every time. और तब तो हम बच्चे थे तो उतना पता नहीं चलता था कि यार मम्मी पे कितना प्रेशर है ऑफ लोग तो बस आ ही रहे हैं and mom is just like attending to them and all, but it was a party, so all my cousins used to come every second third day. My bua mausi ye wo like, growing up was fun, and I'm the only child, so I don't have any siblings, right? So for me, I kind of grew up with them, and they became the real siblings, actually. In terms of and good
Part was that I was always very well protected because everybody loved me at home, right? My masis, my dadaji, my grandfather, grandmother, everyone, they loved me to death. So anything that I would do, and I was a very naughty child. I still am a naughty person, but I think yeah, I was I was more naughty. I was naughtier when I was a little younger. So yeah, it was fun. It was definitely fun. But I think also when I look at it now, I feel a lot of the foundation of what I do and how I do it, just about what I said about, recognizing when you stopped giving your 100%. I think that came because I spent a lot of time with my grandfather. And he was like a man of ethics all the time. He would teach me these things, saying this is how you should do things, this is how you should look at life, this is how you should look at your profession, stuff like that. So I think that came from there. But I mean, if I am to sum this up, it was a lot of fun growing up in Kolkata. The food is good, the people are chill, there's not nothing much, yeah, there's nothing much to do. उतना प्रेशर नहीं है तुम पे कि भाई है तो है. But said, and also I think with my parents, they had always high expectations from me. Like I used to either come first or second in school all the time. So that was the thing that mom and dad have kind of put that on me कि भाई अच्छा करना
Yeah, yeah.
पड़ेगा, अब तुम
Bengali
कैसे करो.
parents. I can relate to
Correct,
that.
correct. Always, right? But I had my own ways there. I would always do well in my studies, but like I said, वही last minute prepare करके ही होता है.
Okay, sir. You are a great anchor. I'm sure you have been doing this for a long time, maybe since your school days. And
Mm,
of course, Bengali parents are like very supportive and very encouraging of the children taking up some cultural activities.
right.
So, when was the first time that you got onto the stage and you felt like this is what I'm going to do? This is what I am going to pursue for?
ओके, गुड क्वेश्चन। सो चाइल्डहुड में ऐसा नहीं हुआ कि मैं सोचा कि आई एम गोना डू दिस, दिस इज माय करियर, इट नेवर हैपेंड। I was always in school. I was always good at elocutions. I was always good at debates. Like, I would always win gold for the school
Yeah.
whenever I represented them in debates, in elocutions, in inter-school, inter-country, within the school. Always, I was always coming first in those. So I knew that I could, elocute well. इन टर्म्स ऑफ एंकरिंग गिग्स ना, आई थिंक हमारे लोकेलिटी में एक ना वो इवेंट होता था। वो, you're from कोलकाता, सैम, सो यू विल प्रोबेबली नो।
Yeah.
वो
Yeah. Yeah.
पाड़ा पाड़ा में नहीं होता है कि एक संडे को
Hmm.
एवरीबॉडी
All
विल
that.
गेट टुगेदर, या
Yeah.
देयर विल बी अ ड्राइंग कंपटीशन एंड देन आफ्टर दैट देयर इज गोना बी अ क्विज। तो वो वाला
Yes.
जो क्विज है ना, वो मैं होस्ट करता था, ठीक है। तो एक अंकल थे जो हमारे लोकेलिटी में ही रहते थे, एंड ही वाज द वन हु काइंड ऑफ पिक मी अप एंड सेड कि यार ये करेगा, बड़ा अच्छा लड़का है टाइप्स। तो सो आई थिंक दैट इज वेयर एवरीबडी सॉ अ ग्लिम्स ऑफ व्हाट आई कैन डू इन टर्म्स ऑफ जस्ट मैनेजिंग द क्राउड, जस्ट इमोटिंग विद देम। और उस टाइम पे यार तो बच्चे होते हैं, तो उधर पे उतना समझ में भी नहीं आता। एंड वेरी ऑनेस्टली, नो, I don't think I'm the kind of person who thinks too much into things. I do things because I want to do things. All right. So, and it's always been
That's
the
very
case, I
yeah.
think, from day one, or at least from the time I've had some sense. Right. So that is where it started. If you ask me where I realized that this is what I want to do, I think it was when I did my first KKR game in 2012. I had a lot of fun. Okay. It was a very, very challenging thing because of a lot of reasons. But the end of the day, when you go back home, what is that emotion you're going back with? I think that's what you need to kind of figure, right? I went back with a lot of happiness in my heart. And that is the day I realized that, okay, I can't do this. And then over a period of time, when I did season two, season three, season four, I think I realized that, I'm probably getting better at this because हमारे लिए तो यार, it is instant, right? Either the crowd is responding or it's not. And if the crowd is responding to you 99% of the times, then you understand that you're doing something right. So
Yeah.
I think from there I realized this is what I want to do. And you guys, I know you already know that I have a corporate career as well. So I've always made it a point to have this going side by side. Maybe the scale has gone up and down. Like maybe in a year I've not done 150 games, but maybe I have done 20. But I've always ensured that I do this because, like I always say, this is my food for the soul. This is what makes me
Hmm.
happy. This is what fuels me to do everything else around me. And I look at it like this, right? It's like a solar system. Okay.
Yeah.
In the solar system, in my solar system, I am the sun. If I stop glowing, then everything around me, all the planets will collapse. And all the planets being, family, friends, everyone and anyone who is kind of at some level emotionally dependent on you for their happiness, right? So if I am the sun, this is what keeps the sun glowing. So pretty much sums it up.
Sir, you just mentioned that you had your first anchoring gig for KGR in
Hmm,
2012, right?
correct.
So, how did you land up there? I mean, that's like a dream for most of the anchors.
I agree. It was fun. It was and funny. So I used to be a radio jockey in Kolkata. Okay.
Yeah.
And the
At
KK.
Radio Disney?
No, at Radio Power FM. There used to be a radio station called
Okay.
Power FM. Yeah, which was the only radio station in Kolkata that played English and Hindi songs. Everyone else mostly played Bangla songs, right? So, and I was like, यार ये station मेरे type का है, तो करेंगे तो यही करेंगे, right? And so I used to be a radio jockey over there, and the KKR management at that time used to be very different. So there were very different people over there. Okay. I don't know who the anchor was at the time, but what I've heard later is that he could not get the pronunciation of the players correct. You know, and all KKR games, the game days, right after the match or the next day, I would do this segment on my radio show, which was basically analyzing the game. And they were looking for somebody who could pronounce correctly at least the names. So they heard me on the radio talking about Jacques Callis, right? And the guy who was doing the on ground at that time, he used to say Jack Callis. So
Yeah.
you understand, right? And it's not his fault as well. And
Even I say Jack Callis.
no,
Yeah.
it's Jacques Kallis. And let me tell
Okay.
you one
Okay.
more thing is that players are very, very particular about the way you pronounce their names. They get very pissed off if it is wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
And if a
Okay.
Jacques Kallis is going out to bat where KKR need, let's say, 14 runs or 5 balls, and he hears you getting his name wrong on the mic, you are already pissing him off and putting him in a very different state of mind, which you, as a home anchor, don't want him to be in, right? So
Definitely.
yeah, so but so they heard me on the radio and they were like, who's this guy? Let's find out. And I'd like to believe I was decently popular in Kolkata as a radio jockey. So people loved me. They still do. But at that time, I think it was very different. And they found out, they got my number and they called me and said, "Hey, this is RJ Sammy. We're calling you from the Kolkata Knight Riders team." And I genuinely am saying this, it sounds very cliched, but the truth is that I thought it was a friend of mine pulling a joke on me. All right. So, yeah, I
Exactly.
picked up the phone and this literally happened. I picked up the phone and the guy said, "Hi, I'm not going to name him. I'm so and so from Kolkata Knight Riders." And I said, "Ha, and I'm Shal Khan. Okay, bye." And I hung up. Okay, yeah, genuinely, all right. And he called back. And he's like, "Hey, I know, I understand this sounds like a joke, but I am genuinely calling you from the Kolkata Knight Riders team." And then I realized, oh, okay, I don't think it's a practical joke. And then they asked me to come to ITC the next day. We had a meeting, and I was confident. I knew, like, एक चीज है मेरे में, मैं ना बहुत confident हूँ. लोगों को लगता है कि मैं ओवर कॉन्फिडेंट हूँ, बट मैं बता रहा हूँ यार, मेरे को पता है मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, मेरे को पता है मैं क्या नहीं कर सकता हूँ. आई एम वेरी क्लियर इन माई हेड अबाउट दैट. ओके. So because of that, now I know that if you tell me something, I'll tell you straight, कि, guys, I can do this or I can't do this. All right. And this I knew. बचपन से, growing up, I used to go to Eden Gardens, watch Ranji Trophy matches. Why? Because I love the
Oh.
game so much. Yeah. India used to come and play. I used to go and watch India matches. So I know what the crowd is thinking. I know exactly what is the lingo that is being used. I know what works at Eden Gardens, what doesn't work at Eden Gardens, right? So I was confident that if I am one of them, all I need to do is emote it in such a way that they connect with me and say कि ये तो अपना बंदा है. ये जो बोलेगा हम वो करेंगे, you know? And I knew I would be able to crack it. So yeah,
Yeah.
they told me that we're going to try out for one game. And the only request I had was that you try me out for 3 games, because since I'm doing this for the very first time, the first game I might not be able to show you everything that I can do because I am also learning. Like,
Yes, sir.
so game 1 and 2, I think according to me, it was okay. According to them, it was good. Game 3 is when I kind of, came onto my own and I said, "Okay, all right, let's go all out." And like they say, the rest is history.
Rest is history, definitely, sir. Sir, you just mentioned that you have got into there by the from radio, like that's
Yeah.
from where you got the chance. And we have also found out that you were in Radio Disney, I guess, at some
Mm.
point of it.
Hmm.
So, can you tell some funny backstory moments or something that you remember from that part of your life?
So who told you I was in Radio Disney? Whoever's told you that has lied to you. I was never at Radio Disney. I have worked at Power FM. I have worked at Radio City. Okay, not Radio Disney.
Okay, sir.
I worked outside the country. I've set up a radio station in Dhaka called Spice FM, which is still running. And then that was the end of radio. Then I got into television and then into digital. Yeah. So funny story, I'll tell you, irrespective of Radio
Yeah.
Disney happening or not happening. Funny story is, I think you should know how I got into radio in the first place. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Hmm.
yeah, it was 2010, and I was with a friend of mine, and I was driving her car in Kolkata. Okay, and we are listening to the radio, and I'm driving the car, and she's sitting next to me. And on the radio, they're saying that, so it was Power FM. They used to call their radio jockeys power jocks, right? So they're like, if you think you have it in you to be the next power jock, simply SMS jock to 5623 or some number, okay? And I'm driving, and she's like, "Hey, you know what? You should try this. You'll be very good at this." And I'm like, "Hey, are you mad about that? I am not going to do all of this at all." Because I already had, after my engineering, I had a standing offer from one of the companies to go and join them in Hyderabad. So I knew I was going to go after a few months any which way. Everything was set. And she's like, "No, you should try, you should try." And I was like, "No, I'm not doing anything of that sort." So she was like, okay, don't do anything. And I was driving. She picked up my phone, and I did not see this because she had this habit of, I don't know why, she would just pick up my phone and randomly do things on my phone. But she picked up my phone, and it did not even look very unnatural to me because she does it all the time. And she sent that message, deleted it from sent items, and kept my phone back. So I had no clue. All right. 3 days later, I get a call saying, ki, hey, you had registered for the radio jockey audition. And I had no idea. I was like, I did. They're like, didn't you? I was like, oh, and I thought, okay, good opportunity. If it's coming, knocking on your door, open the door. I was like, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah, I did it. And they're like, okay, so tomorrow, 2 p.m., you need to come down for an audition and etc. So I was like, okay, do I need to prepare anything? They're like, no, just come. It's going to be fun. And I went, and 45 minutes of auditioning and doing random things that they made me do, I landed the role. So in a way, I actually got into this whole profession very accidentally, and I owe it to that friend of mine. If she would not have sent the message, it wouldn't have happened. So yeah, that's one funny story of getting into radio.
That's great to hear, sir. And now we'll have a fun round called the rapid fire, where you
So
can be
you
all
just
fun
have
and
to
crazy.
answer whatever that
Okay.
comes in your head. We say a question, whatever comes in your head, you just have to
I,
answer
I
it.
I have a question before we start. Can I say pass?
No,
Yes, sir,
sir.
sure.
You can't.
Okay. All right. Okay. No problem. Let's
Okay,
go.
sir. So for the first question, what's your favorite on-air moment?
Favorite on-air moment from radio, you're asking, right? Or is it
Yes, sir.
on ground or radio? Radio. I think favorite on-air moment would be, I was always interested in business, right? So of course there's the whole entertainment side of things, and that is there. But in Kolkata, I had interviewed Sabir Bhatia, who is the founder of Hotmail. And this I'm talking about 2012 at that time, right? So Sabir Bhatia, when I interviewed him, I think that opened a lot of perspectives for me in terms of looking at business and looking at life. I would say that is one of the most pivotal moments of my live where I spoke to Sabir Bhatia. So yeah, maybe that.
Oh, that's good to hear, sir. Coming to that as well, what do you think is the most disastrous on-air moment you have had?
Ooh, there are many. ऐसा कुछ मतलब not just in radio, even in stuff that we do on the stage at events and cricket matches. So many things have gone wrong. So many things keep going wrong. And the good part is that when I finish the event, nobody gets to know about it, and that's when I realize that okay, you did a good job because nobody else knows, right? So that, but once I remember I had got up on stage and I was supposed to do this gig with a female anchor, all right? So it's a habit, right? You finish your link and you switch off the mic, all right? So I finished my link, I switched off the mic and I gave it to the female anchor, and she was supposed to do it on TV. And the camera starts, and poor girl, she had not even switched on the microphone, and she kept on talking for like a good 2 minutes. And from behind the camera, he kept on saying, switch on the mic, switch on the mic, switch on the mic. And she just totally ignored me. And then after that, she's coming and shouting at me, why were you trying to distract me? Why are you doing that? And I was like, your mic was off. You need to do that link once again. And that's when she realized. So just one of the few things which have happened very recently.
So I think it's a very understandable thing that we forget to switch on our mics. It happens to us as well.
No, you shouldn't. That's the thing. If you're an anchor, that's the first basic. Switch on, speak, switch off. Before speaking, check. Come on.
Yes, sir, sure, sure. So
Yeah.
another question. If in an IPL team you could sign up any retired legend, who
Hmm.
would that be?
Sachin Tendulkar, all the time. If you ask me this question 100 times, I'm going to ask you this 100 times. I think he is a legend. There's a reason why he's a legend. All right. And there are many. Of course, there is Dada, there is Anil Kumble, uh, all of those guys, right? Dravid, Lakshman, Sunil Gavaskar, if you go even farther back, even if you want to go further back, Gundappa Vishwanath, Kapil Dev, all of those guys. But I think Sachin Tendulkar, because I think Sachin is an emotion. And also the kind of things that the god of cricket can do. There's a reason why he's called the god of cricket, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, we all the Indians would love to see him again playing
Totally.
on the field for sure.
Yeah.
So, one cricketer that you think will make it great as an RJ.
So many of them. As a radio jockey, there are so many of them. I
Uh,
think Andre Russell would be amazing, I'm sure. You know,
yeah.
yeah,
I
Andre Russell
agree
would, yeah,
completely.
Even
Russell's gonna be
all the
man.
Caribbean cricketers actually.
I think yeah, most of them would do very well. In Indian cricket, I think if I want a very entertaining show, I would put Rohit Sharma for sure. ये अगला गाना ना ये
I
वो
see why you're getting
उस
there.
हाँ हाँ इस मूवी
Yeah,
से वो
yeah,
वाला गाना है तुम लोग सुनो. You know
yeah.
that randomness would always be there. I think Virat is very well spoken. So if you want to
Of
do
course.
like uh, a show where you're talking about lessons of life or spirituality, I think Virat will be. So it depends on again which genre of show you're doing. But overall, I think yeah, these guys would do very well.
Sir, you have been a music enthusiast and you have done a lot of things on that field as well. We'll come to that later. But if you had to choose three artists or your all-time favorite, who would that be?
Hmm. To listen to or to perform with?
So to listen to.
To listen to. Ooh, okay. So I'll tell you my music listening habits. I pick up a song, I listen to it, I think 200 times, and then I move on to another song. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much. So
We
that
all
song,
do that.
I know. See, that's what I was saying, right? We all do that, right? There's that one song. तुम खुश होते हो तो वो भी वो सुनते हो, तुम दुखी होते हो वो भी तुम सुनते हो. किसी से अगर तुमको प्यार हुआ है तुम वो सुनते हो. किसी ने तुम्हारा दिल तोड़ा है तुम वही सुनते हो. So that is the song that's emoting everything for you, right? So in terms of artists, let's see. Uh, I like in Indian artists. I of course like Arijit Singh. I think he's really good uh, in a lot of aspects of music. I think he's really good. Rahman sir is one person who I feel is in Indian musicians again. I'm saying is right up there for me. Some of his songs are so underrated. If you listen to songs like Ranja from this one, what is the name of the movie? Ravan, right? What a song! Like it's a case study in itself for somebody like me who's studied music. Every time I listen to it, I'm like, how did people not talk about this song more? You know? So of course, Rahman is there, Arjit Singh is there. Who else? Who else? Underrated to an extent, I think Vishal Sharma. Vishal Mishra, beg your pardon. Vishal Mishra. Vishal
Yeah,
Mishra.
Vishal
Yeah, yeah.
Mishra.
Vishal is I think he's the talk of the town right now, and quite rightly so as well. Really, really amazing person as well, since I've had the opportunity of knowing him. Superb guy. And an amazing musician. So I think that's my Indian pick. In terms of international, if I have to pick, I think let's see. Who do I listen to? Again, it keeps changing every now and then, but I listen to a lot of DJs actually internationally. So I think Alan Walker would be one. Yeah,
Okay.
I've grown up listening to Celine Dion. So Celine Dion is somebody I still kind of, she doesn't sing anymore, but Celine Dion used to be my favorite at that time. And yeah, Alan Walker there. Martin Garrix. I have to tell you about Martin Garrix. Yes, Martin Garrix is also right up there. But I listen to a lot of international tracks. So there's Kygo, there is if I just in fact, you know what? Let's do this, okay? Let's open my Apple Music while I'm talking to you guys. Let's see which are the most searched songs. Okay, let's see. So I have Headlights featuring Kiddo. This is Alan Walker again. Okay, Millionaire by Honey Singh. Hugel is
Oh my
somebody you
god.
guys, yeah, Hugel you should listen to. I Adore You, that song.
Okay.
I think I'll tell everybody that the day I die, at my funeral, play "I Adore You" by Hugo. That would be the ultimate way of kind of sending me away. That's what I feel. So yeah, I think these are pretty much Dua Lipa. I've had the opportunity
So
to
those
meet
are
her when
really
she was
beautiful
here, but
choices.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That's another
that's
story for
great.
another day. Yeah.
Okay, sir, fine. All right.
So, one more question before we end this segment. What is
So,
the funniest sledging moment you have heard while being on field?
funniest legend moment.
Sledging moment, like the
Sledging, acha, sledging moment.
stump mic moments.
Yeah, stump mic moments. Why I've been on field. So the thing is that when I'm on hosting a game, we don't get the feed of the stump mic, right? So because we just have the visuals, we don't have the audio. So while I'm hosting, there ain't any really. Okay. But but beyond that, I think that banter between Rishabh Pant and Tim Payne, I think that one is right up there, and also followed by Ishan Kishan telling the boys कि अभी रोहित भैया डांटेंगे ना तुमको पता चलेगा. And the very next one,
So
रोहित बोल
true.
तू वहां पे क्यों भाग रहा है? With of course other words which I'm not going to say out loud on this interview, but yeah, you know what I mean. And yeah, so I think those two are right up there.
Yes, and we have heard of this all over Instagram everywhere. It's famous. It's
Yeah,
quite famous.
yeah.
So
So, sir, that was it from a rapid fire round.
Okay.
And sir, coming to one of your reels that you had
Hmm.
posted,
Hmm.
where you were hosting the opening ceremony of Indian Street Premier League.
ISPL, correct.
On that day, you had met Sachin Tendulkar. Yeah. On that day, you had met Sachin Tendulkar. You have seen him bat. You have met Amitabh Bachchan. You have met Saif, Karina, and Boman Irani. Like so
Correct.
many stars and legends. I'm sure that must be a memorable day for you. So, can you just take us through your memories of that day?
Of that day. Yeah, so I'll tell you, I am very bad at this social media game, guys. Let me tell you this, okay? Because I find it very weird that when somebody who is a legend or a celebrity is talking to me and we're having that conversation to ask them for a picture, okay? And I'm not a picture guy. So that automatically kind of eliminates me being good with social media because social media I have got friends who are influencers who are kind of macro influencers, micro influencers, very big influencers across the table, and what I see is that they're recording everything that they're doing all the time. Like if you say something funny, like haha, for me, or like if you say something funny, I laugh at it, and for them they'll be like, oh wait 1 second, can you say that again? So that is something that I can't do in the first place. I've met Sachin, I think, a couple of times before as well for that ISPL game. But on that day, it was just that I think I just said, Sir, I think we should take a picture now. And he agreed. He's like, yeah, I think we should take a picture as well. So we'll do it after the game. I was like, yeah, done. That day was very interesting because I think I got to co-host with Boman Irani as well. And his way of working, his understanding of how to host, that is something that I also got to experience firsthand. In terms of Karina and Saif, Saif actually. So I was hosting on ground, and Saif was right there, and I think somebody had hit a six or something, and I got the crowd going like full on. Okay, and Saif comes to me and says, "You should do this professionally." And I was like, I am doing this professionally, Saif. And Saif was like, oh my God, it was a joke. I was like, all right. So I got a sense of his sense of humor. And Karina was standing right there and she turns to me and says, this is what I have to put up with every day at home. I was like, oh, I get you. I feel your pain. So that day, it was very, very nice because you get to not just meet these guys because you meet them like off the field as well sometimes, but just to see them in action and each one of them a winner in their own rights. And to see them in action is always a very, very big learning experience every time I see them. And you understand why they're at the top and see, getting to the top now is relatively easy. Okay. Staying at the top is the tough part. So you understand why they're at the top.
Definitely, sir.
yes,
Definitely.
sir. Yes, sir. So you must have interacted with a lot of sports personalities from different backgrounds. And our university has many athletes representing our country on international levels, like the Olympics and the Asian Games as well.
Wow.
So, how do you see the rise of young athletes from universities like KIIT on professional sports?
So I think this is a very good time for athletes, across. I'm not just saying from universities, but I feel that anybody who's from a tier two, tier three city as well. I think this is a great time to be an athlete because I think the focus of India as a country is a lot on athletics, is a lot on sports and sports people. So you have a lot of grants, you have a lot of facilities that are now available. Facilities now, even in cricket, if I'm just talking about cricket, the kind of ground infrastructure we had 20 years back versus what we have now is so different, right? And it's grown so much. So possibly, I feel that for youngsters, you just need to keep your head right. You need to be patient. I feel that sports is something that's going to teach you patience. And yeah, just be at it.
So
Sir,
that's so nice to
definitely,
hear and also kind of
sir.
motivates everyone
And
and our
sir,
viewers who are
with that,
watching.
Yeah. I think the internet is lagging a little
the
bit, but
one
it's
which has the
fine.
high.
Yeah, Sam, you'll need to repeat your question once more. I could not hear you properly.
Okay, sir. Sir, I'll take you back to one of your reel again. The
Hmm.
most viewed reel of your Instagram. It
Hmm.
has over 10 million views. I guess you know
Okay.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The day when India team came back to Mumbai after winning the T20 World Cup in the Wankhede Stadium, that was like a surreal day for all of us, all the Indians.
Hmm.
India team landing in Mumbai, the team bus passing through Marine Drive and finally
Correct.
reaching the Wankhede Stadium.
Hmm.
The team dancing out in joy, doing the lap, and you were the person who was hosting that.
Right.
Yeah. Also, you got the autograph of Virat Kohli on your jersey. So
Correct.
I'm sure that must be a great day for you. So
Hmm.
how is it? Like, take us through your memories.
So that day is the day when I actually contemplated retirement, and I said that I'm not going to host anything after this because I think, oh yeah, this
Definitely.
is this is like it can't get bigger than
Okay.
this. Can't get bigger than this.
Exactly.
And it also is it was a very emotional moment for me because I was hosting the 50 over World Cup final in Ahmedabad, the one that we lost to Australia, the only game in the tournament that we lost, right? It was heartbreak. It was like genuinely, I can't tell you
Oh
how
yeah.
bad I felt. And also for personal reasons, that day was a very important day in my life, for whatever reason. And things were just planned in a way. We thought that we're going to win the cup and we're going to do this and we're going to do that and all of that. And then it didn't happen. It was very heartbreaking, very heartbreaking. The last time, I'll tell you honestly, the last time I felt like the way I felt on 19th November 2023 was in 1996 when India lost to Sri Lanka in the semi-finals at Eden Gardens of the World Cup, right? I remember that feeling. I was much younger, but I remember that feeling, and that feeling just came back. So for me to come and host the Indian team as the champions of the world was in itself, like, a lot of people ask me that what is the pinnacle, what is the biggest thing that you've done in your life, in your hosting career? I'll always say it was the Indian team coming back, but having said that, I want to do it again. 2026 May, the T20 World Cup is happening in India, so I want them to do it in India, and at least matlab, then it'll be like, okay, perfect, we've done that.
Definitely, sir. We
But yeah,
pray for
that day
that. We
was
pray for that.
absolutely, that day was surreal again. I just got to know that I'm hosting that literally a few hours before this entire thing was supposed to happen. And they called me and they said, listen, the Indian team is coming back. We need you to come to Wankhede. And I was like, okay. And one thing with me is that night, I generally don't say no. I'm like, okay, ho jayega, karte hain, like that. So I had the jersey, I just put it on, and I went off to the ground. The crowd was amazing. Everyone was super supportive because the players were supposed to come in at 6. They finally came at I think 8:30 or 9. So across the time, they were super supportive. They were like every chant that I did, every time. And I think I was also being kind of that guy who was telling them, "You guys, a team अभी यहाँ पहुंची है, वो लोग अभी यहाँ है, और बहुत भीड़ है बाहर, तो वो लोग आने में उनको टाइम लग रहा है." So I kept kind of communicating with the crowd as well. And then eventually the players came. I saw them coming as the champions of the world. All of them were just like so pumped up. Virat was there, and when I went to Virat and I said, "Congratulations, brother! You make us so proud." And he was like, "Thank you, brother. I still can't believe it's happened." And then I was like, "You know what? Since you're here and I've got the mark, I just signed my jersey." Yeah, and he's like, "Of
Yeah,
course, of course." And then he signed the jersey, and I said, "You know what? Now that you signed the jersey, let's just take a picture." And he was like, "Yeah, let's do it." So we
yeah,
got up, took a picture, and overall, I think. But everybody talks about that Virat moment where he's signing my jersey, but I think the moment of that day for me was another reel which you will see on my Instagram is the Hardik Pandya reel. Uh, that
yeah.
was
I
the
guess
year,
that. Hmm.
yes, that was the year when he was getting booed across India.
Yeah,
And when I went on the mic that day, I had this at the back of my head, right? क्योंकि यार क्या होता है ना, people like me, when we have the mic in front of a cricket audience like that, we have that bit of power, we have that bit of influence to kind of change narratives, to just tell them that, guys, it's okay to be wrong, but you were wrong. Let's make that wrong right today. I think that was the moment. And I am generally as a person, no, I am very like right oriented. What is right and what is wrong, generally. So that was the day when I was like, I think we've wronged this guy. Although I don't do Mumbai Indians, I don't host Wankhede, but I was like, you guys have done this, and today I think God has put me over here to make this right. So that's when
yeah.
I went in and I said, guys, हमने ये किया था, but ये हमारे hero है. Let's go Hardik, Hardik, and the
Yeah.
crowd erupted. You know.
We are still
So
ready. Yeah,
yeah. That was, I think, the defining moment for me for that day, because I think along with us being
definitely,
world
sir. Yeah.
champions, I was personally able to do something which had positive impact.
Yes, sir. We all were happy for Hardik at that time.
Yes,
We all were happy for Hardik, Virat, the team India. It was an
absolutely.
amazing day.
Sir, we are almost at the end of our podcast because we are running out of time now.
Time,
So,
yes.
yeah. So, what legacy would you like to leave on this sports broadcasting industry after you leave this job?
What legacy?
Yeah.
Uh in sports, see, I think there are two sides to this, right? One is, I think, if after I leave, every time or whenever people talk about me and my name puts a smile on their face, I think that is it for me. I don't really require anything more or anything less. Like, if tomorrow also, Sampreet, if you or Manisha, you guys think of me at any point of time, if my name in your head, even if you've not said it out loud, if you smile automatically, I think that's the win for me. Okay, always.
For sure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
because I think when I host, that is the one basic that I'm also keeping in my head, that the person who's paid to come and watch the game, and it's possible कि मान लो कि आज कोई रिंकू सिंह का बैटिंग देखना है, ठीक है, and on that day रिंकू सिंह, he's tried his 110%, but he's failed. He's not made that many runs. How can I still put a smile on the guy's face who's paid like 1,000 rupees to get that ticket? you know so eventually, if going forward in life, मैं बहुत deep बात कर रहा हूँ तुम्हारे साथ, पता नहीं क्यों, but the point is that if my name puts a smile on your face every time you think of me, I think that's the legacy, to be honest, that I would want to leave behind. In terms of my work, if you're saying professionally, I think profession का चीज क्या है पता है? The stage, certain designations, things like these. The funny part about it is that everybody takes it so seriously, but every 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, it changes. The designation remains, but the person changes, right? So my point is that professionally, you can impact, you can definitely create impact, but don't take it so seriously also that you start identifying yourself as that कि मैं इधर का VP हूँ, मैं इधर का president हूँ, मैं यहाँ का anchor हूँ, you know? If you do that, then I think the purpose is gone, man. So yeah, maybe just to my legacy would be if you smile every time you take my name.
Such a beautiful answer, sir.
Sir, we will surely smile whenever we think about you, for sure. Sir, so have you made any bold or controversial predictions about any matches in the past that has come true? Like, I want to know what is your biggest "I told you so" moment that you go on
Hey,
saying.
there are so many, Manisha. I can't even start. Okay. What happens is that on stage, I don't know how people are looking at the game and not even understanding, half the things because I'm telling them, "Ki, guys, this is what is going to happen now." I see because, I've been watching cricket for such a long time at grounds as an anchor for whatever X number of years. But before that also, टीवी पे मैं और मम्मी बैठ के मैचेस देखते थे, राइट? तो आप समझते हो when you look at a player trying some shots or playing some shots, or you look at the field and you know exactly this is what they're trying to do, they will either be able to pull it off or they will not be able to pull it off. These are the only two things that can happen. But if they pull it off, then you see the gradual progression of that happening, right? On the ground. I think it's a lot to do with understanding and reading the game as well. And recently, very recently, I'll tell you, there's an ILT20 game in Dubai, in Abu Dhabi, that is going on where my Emirates captain Nicholas Puran was batting, and the game was against Desert Vipers. Okay, and my Emirates had lost a lot of wickets, and there was no way that they were going to make it. And I saw that. So the first 20 balls that Nicholas Puran played, he wasn't really hitting them. Okay, so he was just like placing them. He was trying to take a single. He was trying to take 2 runs. And he's just kind of, setting up. And people on the stage, they were like, "Arey, match to khatam ho gaya. Abhi now, they're gonna get out." And I said, "Guys, hold on. You see what Nicholas Puran is doing?" And they are telling me, he scored some what? 12 runs of 20 balls. What is he gonna do? I said, it's Nicholas Puran. I've seen him bat for LSG. I know exactly what kind of player he is. You wait. And the next 15 balls, he finished the game. I think some 4 6s, 3 4s. He just went berserk. Tuck, 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 tuck. It just went. And the match finished, I think, with 3 or 4 balls to spare. And they had already won my Emirates. Okay. And I think that's the moment when I turned to them and I said, I told you. I think that's just one of the moments top of my mind, but I think it keeps happening all the time.
Sir, so how about you make an exclusive prediction in this podcast right now for the match you're hosting? KKR versus RCB. Who do you think is going to win?
If do you want a heart answer or do you want a head answer?
So we want a prediction. So whatever
You
you
want to
want to.
I think it's going to be KKR tomorrow. I think the fact that, a day after, sorry, I think it's going to be KKR because I think the team is very well balanced. RCB is a good team. There is no denying that. If on the day some of their players can really hurt the opposition, but I feel that three things. One, the team is very well balanced. Two is the home ground advantage. And three is I am on the mic for KKR. How can they lose?
So we are rooting
Definitely,
for
sir.
KKR.
Definitely.
I am also.
And sir, lastly, we're
Sure.
running short of time. So, sir, lastly, coming from an RCB fan, do you think Esala Cup Namde or our waiting streak will continue?
Well, that's a very good question. I don't know how they did not win it the last couple of times when they got that close as well. Isala Cup Namde, with RCB, what I feel is that it's just a matter of time. And I always say this, okay? Life is a lot about patience. If you really want something for that to come to you now, sometimes that wait feels like an eternity, but it does come to you. If you really love something, someone, they will come to you. In what capacity is a different question altogether. Okay, sometimes I think we don't see that capacity properly. But in terms of RCB, I think that capacity is to live the car. I am not sure if this is going to be the year or not, but definitely in the next 2 3 years, RCB is going to live that cup. It's just a matter of time.
Okay. Yes, sir. We are really hopeful. And sir, with this, our coffee pot is emptied for the day. But don't worry, we'll be back with fresher reviews and new beans filled with the same energy.
So, thank you so much for being the most amazing guest and making it so much fun for all of us. On behalf of everyone watching us today, as well as those who will watch in the future, I can confidently say that every moment of today's dialogue was truly worth watching, and every story you shared will stay in our hearts forever. Thank you once again for joining us. We really wish to host you sometime in the future on the campus itself. So, any last messages that you have for the viewers, for any students of KIIT?
To everybody who watched this, I hope that, I was able to give you some insights, because I feel that sometimes, when we listen to people who are a little, not just, I think a little older than us, not that I'm very old, just saying, I'd like to believe that we have some takeaways. If that takeaway is a positive takeaway, then I feel that the 1 hour that I spent with these two amazing people, Manisha and Sampri, I think that is a home run for me. um, One thing that I'd always like to say is that younger people nowadays, I see, they're very good at a lot of things, but they lack a little bit of patience. All right, make this your mantra in life. Patience gets you things, opens doors that sometimes even brute force can't do. So just be patient in life. Do what you're doing. Always remember that if you're doing good, good will happen to you. uh, Keep that as your moral compass, and just keep leading life the way you want to. Don't listen to too many people, because I think then your things in your head start getting muddled. If you really believe in something, believe in it with all your might. And again, be patient. ऐसा नहीं है कि बिलीव किया फिर 2 दिन किया फिर नहीं, आई डोंट बिलीव एनी मोर, ये मत करना। बिलीव करते हो तो प्रॉपरली करो और उसमें लगे रहो, and it will give you results. That's the only bit of gyan that I'm going to leave you guys with. If you also, anybody who's listening in, I do reply to everybody on my Instagram. So if in life you feel that you need any sort of help where Sammy can help you, please drop me a line. Maybe it's going to take a little bit of time for me to come back to you, but I will ensure that I always come back to you.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
Thank you
And
so
with
much,
that,
sir.
we conclude episode 5, season 4 of KWK from the House of Kalliope, the official anchoring society of KIIT. It was an absolute privilege to be in a conversation with the one and only RJ Sammy. Thank you so much to our lovely audiences for tuning in today.
Don't forget to show your love for this episode on KSAC's official YouTube channel. For more exciting content, make sure to follow Calliope's Instagram page.
Thank you once again for joining us and stay tuned for our next episode. We are your hosts, Samprit Sarkar.
And Manish Chaudhary signing off. So we had so much
So
fun
We're
that's it,
done.
sir.
talking
Yeah.
to you.
It's
Yeah, it
really
was
fun,
good.
yes, sir.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Same here.
yeah.
Same here. I
I
think I had a
really
lot of
wish to
fun.
meet you. Yeah.
100%. 100%.